With the trade policy having been as uncertain and mercurial as it has been, companies have been somewhat disincentivized to commit too heavily to moving manufacturing because that's a very significant multi-year high dollar investment. And there are a number of mechanisms that may be used to try to avoid this. And one of them is asking companies, did you actually eat the tariff or did you pass that cost on to the consumer? Because hypothetically, if the cost was passed on to the consumer and the White House paid back the tariff to the importer, then they would be double dipping. They'd be essentially being paid for the tariff that they had already imposed upon the US consumer.
I think it's going to be a choice that those countries are going to have to make. The tariffs President Trump instituted last year, despite being completely illegal, stayed in place for most of a year. If a country tears up their agreement with him, he will probably impose illegal tariffs on them again, which will eventually be struck down. But some countries don't want to wait for that, particularly if we go into a global downturn. I think a future president is likely to draw the conclusion that the Trump administration broke the law and the Constitution quite freely and paid very little price for it. Some of its actions were canceled, often after they'd had considerable effect, like the tariffs. Some of their actions weren't canceled at all, the illegal war in Iran being an example, because there was no one who had standing to get into court.